Hi there! Welcome to today's lesson. Today, we'll be learning about prose, types and features. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to identify the types of prose, list the features of prose, differentiate between the two types of prose, and write your own stories using the two types of prose. Are you ready? Let's begin! A prose is defined as any writing that isn't broken up into poetic lines or written in a metrical structure. In other words, prose refers to all writing that isn't poetry. Prose typically sounds like natural speech. Most books are written in prose. There are many kinds of prose, including fictional, non-fictional, dramatic, and heroic, to name a few. So, what features does a piece of writing need to have for it to be considered a prose? First, we have language and choice of words. The language of prose is an ordinary one. Prose doesn't need any poetic language except where it's absolutely necessary. The language of prose is everyday language. It uses chapters, paragraphs, and sentences, unlike in poetry, where sentences are abridged in lines and stanzas. Next, we have sequence. Prose is made up of incidents that are organized in a chronological order. In prose, there could be a series of events unfolding in a manner organized by the writer. Use of narrative technique. The technique employed in prose is that of a storyteller. Prose tells a story by recitation of an event or series of events. Prose, rather than showing, explains or narrates an event. Use of characters. Prose is not biased by the use of characters. Prose uses both fictional and non-fictional characters to narrate its story and achieve its purpose. Prose can even use fictional characters to represent real-life characters. It is through the characters that the writer passes the message of the literary work. Now, the two major types of prose are non-fictional prose and fictional prose. Non-fictional prose is prose based on facts, real events, and real people. Examples of prose that fall into this character are biographies, autobiographies, histories, and journalism. Fictional prose. Literary works in fictional prose writing are imagined. Parts may be based on or inspired by real-life events or people, but the work itself is the product of an author's imagination. Examples of this would include novels and short stories. Now that we know that there are two main types of prose, let us look into the elements of fiction. The first one is plot. A plot is the course of a story, comprising a series of events which are gradually unfolded in a manner spontaneously chosen by the writer. It is the arrangement of events in a literary work. Second one we have is theme. This is the center point, center idea, or lesson derived from a literary work as intended to be conveyed by the writer. The next point we have is character. This includes persons who are involved in the action of a story. Characters may be round or flat. They include the protagonist, antagonist, deuteragonist, hero or heroine, villain, and so on. Next one we have is setting. This is the background information of a literary work of art. The setting particularly refers to the time and the location of the events narrated in a prose. And lastly, we have style. This is the manner by which a speech or writing is expressed. Prose makes use of styles such as the writer's choice of words, tone, language, use of imagery, mood of the writer, and so on. Style may be employed whether intentionally, coincidentally, or otherwise. In conclusion, prose is writing that resembles everyday speech. It uses straightforward and ordinary language. The two types of prose are fictional and non-fictional, and some features of prose are language, sequence, narrative techniques, and use of character. Using these features and the elements of fictional prose identified in this lesson, I'm sure you'll be writing your own prose in no time. See you in the next lesson. Goodbye.